What's up, y'all? So I am back, and today I just want to give like a few story times on just different things and um, different situations, how they made me feel, how now I can see what I needed in that situation that I wasn't receiving. Um, just different keys, tools, and tips that could potentially help the next person going through the same thing I'm going through. So, y'all, I really don't know where to start. What do I say? What do I talk about? As we all know, the situation I got healed from my sickness and healed from my vaping addiction and healed from anxiety. So I guess we should talk about anxiety. Anxiety is a real fucking thing. I know people like to play and joke about it sometimes, but it's actually a real thing. People are actually suffering from actual anxiety, severe anxiety. I can say my anxiety, it was a thing when I was growing up, but it didn't really become as severe as it was before. I want to say I got what I got or figured out I had what I had, and then until my healing. So you shouldn't, for one, you really shouldn't claim anything over yourself. So like saying you have anxiety with you going to the doctor, getting diagnosed for anxiety, like you really need to take that up with God and ask Him to take away any, you know, of those feelings that you feel that you have away. But so I'm gonna just give y'all a quick little story. Um, So when we first moved to Florida, my mom, it was seven of us. Well, there is seven of us. When we first moved to Florida, we were homeless. We had nowhere to go. All we had was my great grandmother's house to go to, and even in staying there, she it was just a lot. When we were staying there, that's when we were going to the SDA, the Seventh Day Adventist Church. That's when I was getting touched, molested by church members, whoop doo doo, blase, blase, blase. So I can say that's when, now looking back, I can say that's when my anxiety first started to appear. I used to lash out, I used to run away, I used to start cussing, I started picking up traits that were not me. Mind you, I'm I was from LA. We came from LA. We had a big giant family. We had family. I was used to family. I was used to a certain way of living life, and then it was just a drastic change. Plus the molestation and everything that was going on. I can say that's when, looking back on that, I can say that's when the anxiety first started to appear. There was an instant change in my attitude, my demeanor, my way of life, the way I just felt and thought, and carried myself about different things. So, yeah, getting older and continuing on in life, I say, from that happened to me, I fell deeper into those practices that I learned from the molestation, which also grew my anxiety. And it was bad. Like, I can give you guys story times. It was bad. The anxiety was to a point to where I couldn't even think for myself. I allowed the anxiety to make my decisions. I allowed the anxiety to dictate what I do. I allowed the anxiety to bring me to a place, into a person that I wasn't and I'm not. So I'm really thinking right now for a good story time because I know I have a juicy one. Uh, I really am trying to think. I mean, a more recent one I could say is like I was like 15, 16, and I met this dude named Ron. We have the same name. Oh, let me not say his name. Ugh, I'm gonna just have to cut that part out. But yeah, so I met this dude, and shit, his name was Ron. Yeah, we have the same name. It don't matter. I mean, that's not his real name, but yeah, we have the same name. His name is Ron. And just a lot of stuff was going on in my household. A lot of stuff was going on around me that, I already told you I was still practicing the things that happened in the molestation, and it was um it was growing my anxiety. As I go on in stories, you'll see how that grew your anxiety. But just here's this first story. So Ron, I met Ron. By this time we were living in my mom's current house, which is an actual house now. Um, I still have that stigma around me, the bad kid stigma, the always in trouble, the odd one out out of seven kids. I was the odd one out. So meeting this man, I knew it was wrong, but the anxiety in me allowed me to desire that and want that and want to be around and a part of that energy, which is not a bad energy. It's not anything terrible. It's not like he was a bad person to me. Okay, sorry about that, guys. The officer just told me we cannot be on the wall because it's too high up. But I'll get back into the story. So I was talking about Ron and how my anxiety caused me to continue on in a relationship with him, even though, it was clear as day. I knew the things I was doing was wrong. Morally, I felt out of place. Spiritually, I felt out of place, but I allowed my anxiety to just take me and take me and take me, and I kept going. So what would happen? I was, again, 15, 16 years old. This is my first time with him. Okay, cool. Um, he would come get me from my mom's house and take okay, so he lived in Georgia and we lived in Florida. And he lived like 2 hours away. So he would take me from my okay, let me calm down. Let me slow down. Our first time linking up, we linked up in a hotel, and that was my first time ever seeing him. When I first seen him, I was like, oh, this nigga fine. Like, he was doing some bad shit. Yeah, he was a fine ass man. Yeah, when I initially met him and we linked in that hotel, I knew from the get go, oh, he, like your spirit tell you like when something is wrong, but in that moment, I started feeling anxious and anxious and anxious. And I just let my anxiety take over. My anxiety took over, and I just let my anxiety run the show. Like when a person is anxious, like they're just on their toes. So I had no control over it. I'm not gonna say I had no control over nothing what I do. I knew spiritually, like this is wrong. In the spirit, I knew that. But so I guess that's why I let my anxiety take over. I was like, okay, let let your fear take over. Let your anxiety run the show because spiritually, I knew it was wrong, but I let my fear take over in that situation. That was the first time I had ever seen him. I think I had stayed like the weekend at the hotel with Boo. It was cool. Boom. He took me back home. Boom. So let me get to another time we met because you know the story is juicy and this is no shade to Ron. Ron, if you see this, I literally love you. You first of all, you know how the story goes. Much love, much love, much love. You know how the story goes. But what's another time? So another time is I guess I would say oh, a phone call we had. So we had a phone call, whoop, mind you, 15, 16. I'm 15, 16, whatever. We getting to know each other more. So he tell me about, first of all, he lied to me. He kept telling me, you know, he got a age, this, that, and the third. Just the whole 9 yards. Whole time, it was really another boyfriend, a crazy boyfriend. And they really still stayed together. So that was that situation. You know, around that time, 15, 16, I'm wanting to move out my mom's house. I'm wanting to leave. Like, I'm wanting to get the fuck. Like, I was really smelling myself, and I wanted to get the fuck. And yeah, I was just, as much as I was enabling this situation, which, y'all, this is just my testimony. There's no wrong or right. It's just what was. As much as I was enabling the situation, I can't blame myself because I can't hold myself accountable, but I cannot blame myself. I put the blame on my anxiety. And yes, I let my anxiety take over at that time. Come on now, 15-year-old, 16-year-old mind, even now, like 19, sometimes I still let my anxiety take over the situation and be like, okay, fear is running the show. Because in my spirit, I know it'll be wrong. So I'll be like, okay, in your spirit, if you know something is wrong, but you still continue to do it, you're no longer running the show. That's basically what's going on. I knew in my spirit this is wrong, but the show still went on. So that's basically what anxiety is to me. Something else is running with the show. Um, what was I at? Oh yeah, another story to him. So yeah, so he basically told me I knew all that was wrong. I knew like the lying was wrong, the whoop was wrong, just all the lying. Then he continuously lied about his age. So first he told me 27, then he told me. So yeah, this man was up there in age, and my phone, my phone. Yeah, I'm recording a YouTube video.
What's up, losers?
What's Okay, first of all, they're not losers. Put some fucking respect on their name, cause there's thousands of them. Let me get homie. Let me show y'all him. So yeah, when y'all see him, get him. Yeah.
I wish I would.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got a ski mask and a switch.
This princess. Okay, get back. I'm recording a video. It's very inappropriate.
Bro.
What I'm talking about is not for children.
Wonk.
Wonk my. Anyways, y'all, back again after we was interrupted. I have nothing to say, but yeah. So where was I at? Yeah, he just kept lying about most of the things. And I just knew, like, spiritually, I knew that was wrong, and I should have let it go. But I continued to let my anxiety take over in that situation. So in that situation, when he lied about his age, lied about who he was talking to, lied about where he was living, who he was living with, I should have never been talking to him, but I should have let that go. Like in those situations, if you know spiritually something is wrong, just let it go. I know it's gonna be hard. I know it's gonna hurt. I know it's gonna feel like, oh, I'm 15, 16. I just really want to live my life. But let that shit go. There's more to life than losing your fucking life to literal bullshit. And I totally didn't lose my life to him. He actually showed me a lot and helped me grow. Because as I said, I didn't grow up with a father. So a lot of that stems from me wanting male and seeking male attention. But you gotta find that shit in other places. You can't be going to search for that shit in these type of things. But huh?